Hey everybody, this is the week 5 video tutorial for the Starter Plan online extracurricular English workshops in 7th and 8th grade. As usual, let's go ahead and get started by opening the Zoom app and logging into the account that is assigned to me for my workshop. This is a pretty fun week. We're doing some new things. Here in my meetings we have, we'll find our meeting that has our name in it, and as you guys already know, I'm just going to open a new meeting so that we are not recording. Stop recording. So let's go ahead and get started with the day's content. I'm going to open the curricular plan and teaching materials. I'm going to open the starter folder. I'm going to open the week 5 folder and the week 5 Word doc where all of the links can be found. This week our objectives: students will be able to ask and answer questions regarding their own typical activities using do and don't, and also students will be able to ask and answer questions regarding other people's activities using does and doesn't. So we have here our sentence structures. Do you blank? Yes, I do blank. No, I don't blank. Does he and she blank? Yes, he or she does. No, he or she doesn't. And then we have 10 new verbs that we have not used yet, so that's exciting. I'm going to go ahead and change my name as I normally do. Participants, more, rename, Mr. Jeremy. So let's go ahead and open up the materials. We have the week 5 slides file. We have the mystery box website. We have something brown to show and go and find. And then we have Martin's activities and Laura's activities. I'll put those in order. We have week 5. We have mystery box. We have Martin. We have Laura. And I'm also going to open up the Go Fish online stopwatch. That's something I always like to have open before I start the lesson. Right? Remember, this is the site where we can go in here and we can clear the list and paste in the names of our students and use that to randomly select students when there aren't any volunteers. So let's jump right into it. This week the vocabulary recall is places in a town. Again, this is all review from things that they've learned before. And these pictures here are all in Chile, which you can probably tell here. Banco de Chile, right? So we have the hospital, we have the bank, we have the police station, we have the school, the fire station, the main square. For those of you who have never been to Chile, this is one of the really cool things. Every town you go to has a main square. And they're very cute places where people tend to socialize. We have the supermarket and we have the post office. So once we've gotten through those while students are logging in, we'll then move on to the attendance and how are you today. And the new state of being for this week is relaxed. Yeah. So again, we'll ask each student who is there to respond to this question, always emphasizing the full sentence responses, not just happy, happy, or sad. No, full sentence. Today I am blank. And yeah, that's again to take attendance, see who's there without just asking them to say present. Right. So last week we got to Nigeria, and so the big question is, where will we go today? They can see that we're still in the African continent. Maybe they'll be able to get it. But again, it's a mystery. We'll see if we get, we'll see where we get at the end of the session. So in week 5, the topic is we are going to be talking about typical activities, which is also about do and don't and does and doesn't. That's sort of the grammar that we're going for in this session. So then we'll jump right into the agenda. We have places in my town. we'll introduce the 10 new typical activities. Then we'll introduce do and don't, how they're used in conversation. Then we'll play a game called Mystery Box, which will be fun. And then we'll do a quick go and find for those of you who are able to do that. And then we'll do some do and don't practice, or sorry, does and doesn't practice with Martin and Laura. And then we'll see where we've made it to. So jumping right in, our question of the day is, what do you live near? Yeah. So again, we're employing the vocabulary that we recalled in the beginning, and we will have students tell us what they live near to in their town. So once we've done that, we will then move on to a listen and repeat session with 10 new typical activities. The other ones were more hobbies and sports. These 10 are meant to be more sort of routine oriented, right? So we have spend time with family, we have ride a bicycle, watch TV, do homework, exercise, sleep in late, use social media, go to church, swim in the pool, and hang out with friends, right? Again, when you introduce these, listen, repeat, or however the gestures that you have associated. And the idea is that after you introduce them and they repeat them, then maybe you act some of them out. Ride a bicycle, or, exercise, and have them call them out. Sort of charades, but just them identifying what you're doing. It's fun, and it'll help them to remember these things. It'll give them a laugh as well to see you doing silly things on camera. Then we get to the do and don't, right? We're starting to teach them how to use this vocabulary that they just learned in a sentence. So similar to one of the previous lessons, we'll illustrate. There are, I believe, 4 examples here. So the first one I would do myself. Do you sleep in late? Yes, he does. So say, yes, I do sleep in late, right? There's only question and response. It's not a 3-part thing. So in this first one, I would do it all myself. Again, you're emphasizing the do you, and yes, I do, or no, I don't. For the second one, maybe you'll do it by yourself, or maybe you'll bring in that, star student to help you show how it works, right? No, she doesn't exercise. She sleeps in. And then after that, definitely by the third one, you want to be bringing students into the modeling, right? So hopefully by this one, you have 2 students doing this. In my sessions, the students have really liked doing these dialogues. So a dialogue question response, if you can call it a dialogue. But anyway, it's modeling the content. And then here's the 4th example. Do you ride a bicycle? She rides a scooter. No, I don't ride a bicycle. So anyway, that is the introduction of do and don't. And then we get to the mystery box activity to put this into play. So now we're asking students about their routines here. And so open the box. So maybe you'll use your, to start off, you'll use your Go Fish to pick a student, right? And then, that student will pick a number. So number 7. So, Juan Carlos, do you hang out with friends? Yes, I do hang out with friends, or no, I don't hang out with friends, right? And when you zoom out, the box closes. So you'll do this ideally with every single student. Very basic, simple activity that they shouldn't have any trouble with between the language and the pictures, right? Build up some confidence. Once you've gotten through this with every student, we'll go back to the week 5. We will tell them that they did a great job. Side note, for those of you who have been having issues with this, with the fireworks, go to the Google Classroom. We have a volunteer who posted the solution, but in the end, it's just downloading this file into your own Google Drive, and then you'll be able to use it so that students can hear it. Right? After we give them a good amount of praise, we'll go into the Go and Find, for those of you who are doing that, and we'll go and find something brown and show it on the camera. Or you'll find something brown and have them try to call it out. And when you're doing that, the emphasis is on the brown blank, the brown shirt, the brown box, what have you. As you know, in Spanish, it's the other way around. It's the the box brown, la caja café. So that's good to teach them color and then object, right? Anyway, moving right along, then we kind of move up, and now we're talking about third person, right? So in this example here, they'll say, oh, we just saw this. Well, now we're kind of taking a step back and looking at it from third person. So this is sort of more a conversation between you and your students about these people that they just saw recently. So you can ask yourself, do you remember these people, right? And you can start to illustrate. He says, do you sleep in late? And he says, yes, I do sleep in late. So students, does he sleep in late? Yes, he does sleep in late, or no, he doesn't. And get them to respond to you. Yes, he does sleep in late, right? So at no point are we telling them with he and she we do does and doesn't necessarily. We're not teaching the grammar. We're just doing the content that involves the grammar, right? We're illustrating with the example. So yeah, we'll sort of teach this one, and then again, there's all four of them again. So now let's try this again. Do you exercise? Remember these people? And we have, no, I don't exercise. So students, does she exercise? See if they can get it without the help text. Then you can bring up the options, and if they don't, you have those there, and then get them to see if they can select the correct one. So you'll do that with the three examples that we had looked at previously, right? And once we've gotten through all of these examples in the third person, we would then move on to the final two activities, and we'll say, students, I want you to meet someone. Yeah, nice to meet Martin. He is 14 years old, and here are his activities, which I already have open. So now we're moving on to talking about a third person here. So very similar to the last one, but now it's he and she. Here's this wheel again. So we choose a student, Rebecca, and we'll ask Rebecca first. So we'll say here, before we spin the wheel, we'll talk to them. Here's their week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These are the typical activities of Martin. And so we'll say, for example, Rebecca, does he watch TV? And Rebecca will look. Oh, yes. Yes, he does watch TV. Excellent job, Rebecca. And we'll go through all the students. The idea here, guys, is that we'll get through about half of them because the next part is sort of the same, but it's about Laura. And so, yeah, we'll try and get through. If I have 15 students in my session, I'll probably try and get 7 of them. Also, just so you guys know that you can also move the wheel manually in case you keep getting the same activity. So if you have 15 students, you'll go through about 7 of them here, and then you'll save the other half for the second part. And again, if you, similarly to some of the previous weeks, if you feel like the students are getting it really easily, start getting them to ask the questions as well. As opposed to just responding. So maybe I have a student who says, no, he doesn't ride a bicycle. Okay, all right, now it's your turn to ask the question. And they'll ask the next student the question, and so on. And then, yeah, then after Martin, we go back to week 5. And then we introduce them to Laura, right? And then we click over to Laura. Again, it's linked right here. And we do the same thing. And so ideally between the two, definitely all students are getting the chance to respond to the question. And also, hopefully you're getting to the point where the students are asking the question as well. That's sort of the goal, right? That was the objective, is to ask and answer the question, right? So that is pretty much week 5. After that, we'll show them that we have made it to South Africa. And, we'll do our usual thing of talking about the different features of South Africa. So we have Boboti, we have Ring Ball, and we have Table Mountain. So everyone, that is week 5. I hope that this is a helpful walk through for you. Have a great week. Have fun. I would say this is a pretty fun week. And don't forget to upload your attendance after your session. And finally, remember to please give us the initial activity scores that you were able to generate for your students who submitted the activity as soon as possible. But yeah, have a great week and have fun.